back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle, and today, I know we did a little foiling last video, but that was an older video and I kind of zoomed past it, so we're going to do a little more in detail foiling today. So we are going to foil with a stencil and use the Deco foil transfer gel. So little disclaimer on my transfer gel is that I still have my original jar of transfer gel, like the original one that ThermoWeb came out with. I don't think they, I think they do. No, they don't make the original jar that I have anymore. They've upgraded to 2 different formulas. But real quick, let me tell you what I'm doing here. So I put a piece of copy paper down on my desk because this gets messy and it just makes cleanup easier if all I have to do is throw out the piece of copy paper rather than try to clean the transfer gel off my desk. So I have a piece of black cardstock, and I have this is a Starfield stencil from Newton's Nook, and like I said, they'll all be down in the description below like usual. And then I have my Deco foil transfer gel, and I am just spreading it with a palette knife all over the stencil. And then I'm going to pull that up, and then I will set that to dry. I let mine dry overnight. Usually it just takes a couple hours. Again, this is the original transfer gel, and I think the new ones might work a little bit differently. I do think this works, and then we let it dry for a few hours / overnight. And I'm going to, while that was drying, I worked on the rest of the card. So while I do the die cut here, I'm going to kind of talk about the transfer gel a little bit. So the transfer gel comes in 2 forms these days. Transfer gel is Blanco and Duo. Duo works pretty much the exact same way as the one that I have, except you can use it with your die cut machine or your foil machine / laminator. So if you're not into the laminating, foil machine type of foiling, you can also foil stencils and other things with the gel, but only if you get the transfer gel Duo kind. That's the biggest difference. Is the one I have is the sort of original formula that you still needed the heat from the laminator to use. Then they kind of reformulated to the Duo version, which can use either way. So, but as you can see, I've had that jar for probably at least 4 to 5 years now, because I got it pretty much as soon as they came out with the transfer gel, and I'm still on my original jar, so a little goes a long way. I also don't use it that often, if I'm being entirely honest. I don't foil with stencils a whole lot, mostly just because I have so many other polylace foil things and toner foil things and all of that, that I don't usually use my stencils very often to foil. But I'm going to talk about the inspiration for this card now, which is going to help explain why I picked this technique and using the gel to foil for this card. So those of you who don't know, I'm sure you all do if you can't even just guess by my channel name, that I am a big, massive Disney fan. Huge. And I have been missing Disney World, something awful. My last trip to Disney World was in 2021. I did take a trip to Disneyland in California last year, but I am a Disney World girly at heart, and I am still quite a ways off from my next trip, although it is planned, and we are very firmly in the planning stages of my next trip, my next couple trips potentially, but I've been missing it a lot, and EPCOT is my favorite Disney World park, and the embossing folder you just saw me using is from Simon Says Stamp, and it reminds me so much of the pattern that is on Spaceship Earth / the EPCOT ball. And EPCOT is my favorite park, and I miss it so bad. I was watching an EPCOT live stream walkthrough while I made this card. So I decided to make an EPCOT themed card, and EPCOT, I don't think these exist any longer because EPCOT just went through kind of a massive refurb and facelift and changes and things, but they used to have these glowy sidewalks right outside Spaceship Earth that would twinkle. They had little lights in them that would sort of light up at night, and they were really pretty. So I was trying to use the Starfield stencil and the foil to kind of mimic the sidewalks, and then I have been you've been watching me die cut the pieces to make a little small Spaceship Earth replica, I guess. And then I have this, I think this set is called You Are Magical to Me, from Simon Says Stamp, that I got a few years ago. Again, just feeding the inner Disney adult. Well, I am a Disney adult. I don't know why I said the inner Disney adult. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. But anyway, feeding, you know, the Disney habit with this little magical set, and I use that to say, and make it say have a magical birthday. I will say I don't like how the greeting comes out. Not a vibe. I don't like it. I should have done something different with the magical piece, actually. I don't like how the embossing came out on it. I heat emboss it because I was trying to make it kind of silvery and sparkly, and it was just not the vibe. I had to cut a stamp. Did you see that? I don't like doing that. But this one, the have a and birthday are attached, and I couldn't handle it. So I had to cut them apart, and it was all fine. It survived. I don't know. Some people, like Jennifer McGuire, cuts her stamps apart all the time. And part of me, like, really wishes I could be okay with that. And this is not the first time I've cut a stamp apart. I've definitely done it before. Whether I just, like, didn't like the layout of something or whatever. But I don't really like doing it. I'm just afraid I'm going to lose a piece of it if I do that. So I always have to be really careful and make sure I, like, put everything away right away. Okay. Also, no, never mind. This is after that. I cut out the part that I messed up, so we're all good there. So now I'm just heat embossing everything, and this is what I don't like. I think I maybe should have still done the magical on black cardstock too, but I was worried about it getting lost in the background. But with the silver heat embossing on the white, it's just not the vibe. But I didn't want to add gold in either, because everything else, I end up doing the stars in a silver and the stars in the background in a silver foil. So like, I didn't want to add the gold that didn't, and everything is very gray themed. Gray and black is kind of the color scheme. So I think I should have just done the magical on black cardstock, but I thought I was going to make it pop with the white, and it just didn't work. But, I should say it works, it's fine. It just didn't work as well as it could have, I guess. Let's say that. That feels like the better thing to say. So now I'm just going to die cut everything out. One thing I want to mention too, I should have mentioned this earlier when I had the embossing folder out, but I forgot. With the intricate, especially I've noticed so far with Simon Says Stamp folders, you do have to play with them quite a bit to find the right setting. So just don't be afraid to, like, play with your machine and figure out what works for you and your machine specifically, because like a lot of machines, they all vary slightly. And so I'm just going to foil. So now the transfer gel is dry. We need to revisit the transfer gel now, and I'm going to take my foil and basically foil just like it was a polyglaze sheet. I don't know if I had to wipe it off. I did. It was super dry. I let it dry overnight, so I knew it was super dry. If I'd only let it actually dry a few hours, I probably wouldn't have done that. Because I think I would have been more afraid of smearing it. But since I let it dry overnight, and also because I let it dry overnight, I was worried that like dust and stuff from the room might have gotten on there. So I just wiped it down really quick with just a Swiffer cloth, and then I'm just going to run it through my laminator. Like, this is like next step foiling. If you're doing like the laminator type foil, the toner type foil. Oh, there's my Spaceship Earth. So it's just two rectangles in a circle with that embossing folder on it, and it looks so much like Spaceship Earth. It's fantastic. And but yeah, so basically this would be like the next level up, I think, as far as like laminator style foiling goes, would be to do the transfer gel. If you're not interested in laminator foiling, then this is the way to do foiling anyway, because you can do it with your die cut machine, in which case you would not wait for the gel to dry, and you would have to use the duo gel. I know I said that before, I'm going to say it again. And if you use a duo gel, you can just run it through your die cut machine, and it'll take care of it for you. There's plenty of videos on that. I'm just too in love with my fuse to do it without using the laminator these days. But yeah, there are ways around it. And like I said, there's other videos you can find on that if you are interested in doing foiling without a laminator. So I am just gluing everything together, and this is basically the end. I got a little nervous. I opened it because I thought I glued it on backwards. I did not. I did it right. See, that magical is just, maybe it's just the camera. Maybe, I mean, I've seen the card in real life, obviously, too. But I think the camera just makes it worse, and that's why I feel like it doesn't look great. I bet it doesn't look that bad in real life. If I look at it again. But anyway, here's my little Spaceship Earth card, because I miss EPCOT. Something awful. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you again soon, and have a crafty day.